Well, hello. Welcome to Tarot 2T. Today we're going to do a February 2023 reading for the sign of Libra. And if this is the first time on my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Especially if you're a subscriber and a donator to my Buy Me a Coffee, aka Tea, account, which you can find at the bottom of the description box if you are interested in making a small donation to help support the channel. I'm not able to monetize YouTube. I'm not one of those that makes money off of YouTube. So if you are feeling generous and you are able, I would certainly appreciate that. So we're opening up a general inquiry for Libra for February 2023. Cards of advice, please. Cards of advice. They're just jumping. They're just jumping. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started if that's okay with you. Three of clubs. Libra, don't like to see this. This is a little bit of struggle and fight you have going on here. You could be pulled in two different directions. It could be two different people, although I just kind of see it generally as different energies or different elements coming into the picture, literally pulling you in two different directions. That's causing the fight, turmoil, struggle, whatever that's about. Well, it's certainly not your finances. It could be fighting over money. This is actually the card of great success and prosperity. It's like reaching, I don't want to say the end of the rainbow, because I don't think it ends here necessarily. It's just like a goal that you had, that you've reached, you've attained that goal. And so you're enjoying the success from that, and it probably involves some kind of monetary gain, some kind of abundance, but nonetheless, it kind of wrapped up a chapter in your life here. That's definitely an end of a cycle with that. Two of Hearts, Jack of Spades. You could be involved with somebody who you don't trust. Two of Hearts talks about the desire for companionship. Okay, partnership. It's about having that deep connection with somebody, a deep understanding. But the Jack of Spades also, I'll just mention, can be an air sign. A younger air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. And if it's not a Libra, I'm not Libra. Well, geez, this could be you, right? I am reading for Libra. But if it's not another person is what I meant to say. It could be you, Libra, just a little distrustful of some kind of close connection that you have going on here. It probably has to do with this struggle and fight, no doubt. What's curious is the success and prosperity card. It kind of throws me for a loop. But again, I'm the interpreter of the energy of the cards. I can't look into a crystal ball and see your exact situation. So I'm kind of looking from the outside, so we always keep that in mind. The Seven of Diamonds does talk about, it's a warning against gambling, taking on crazy like financial risks. So there is, all I'm getting so far, and I will draw more cards, is that there's some kind of large amount of money or abundance involved in a situation that I do believe is causing some strife. And it's probably somebody close to you, represented by the Two of Hearts. I mean, I'm leaning towards romantic, but if it's not like a spouse or a partner, it's somebody that you feel like you have a close connection with, but you're not trusting them at the moment. And I think that's the source of the trouble. So let's go ahead and ask for more cards. Please tell me more about Libra's sticky situation here in February 2023. Wow, you got more confusion around money. And again, the 3 energies about being pulled in 2 different directions. Probably, in general, I'm just sensing you don't know how to resolve this. It's not like literally there's 2 choices necessarily. It's just you don't know how to resolve it. So there's that sense of tension, not being on the same page with somebody for sure, not agreeing on an outcome. Yeah, and it's around some kind of abundance. Look at that, new start in abundance. This is also the desire to increase your income, find new ways of increasing your income, or just like, often if this was, for example, I don't think this applies here, but if you're looking at a new business situation or looking to get into a new career, it would be about, you want to get into a field that brings you more abundance, right? I think this, again, is tied up with this financial matter. And it's definitely put you on a new start, because I think the finances have, I haven't seen the cards that talk about change, but I think this has changed things for you. And so you're on this new path with it. I mean, this could be as simple as parents passing away, and there's bickering and indecision and, dare I say, fighting amongst children that stand to inherit the estate, the money, the property, I mean, all of that ball of wax. And that's where the struggle and the fight comes in. And you're very close to the situation or the people involved or a person. Maybe it's just one sibling. And I don't mean to make it sound like you've always had this as a goal of yours. If that's the case, that somebody's passed away and you were waiting for this inheritance, but you knew inevitably it would happen. It's that kind of feeling I get from it. And so it's definitely put you in a new position, and therefore a new start. And you do want to be careful, because I think it's significant enough that you could go crazy. You could go crazy with it. So just a little bit of warning there, a little shout out from the universe saying, be careful with that. If you're prone to luxurious spending, or if you have like that, like, oh boy, excited, now I can afford this, and I can go on this trip, and I can do that, and I can buy this expensive car. It's that kind of stuff. It's kind of going over and above what you're used to having. So perhaps you have entertained some of those ideas. Anyway, off track. Again, we have three energy that talks about being pulled in 2 different directions. This is very emotional for you, because this is about emotional indecision. So not only do you have confusion around money matters and fight and struggle, you also have indecision emotionally. You don't know how to feel about it. If there's sides to be taken, you don't know perhaps what side to take. Perhaps you see things from all different angles. And yes, that could be 2 different people. And you're like stuck in between, and it's like a struggle between 3 of you. That actually hit home, didn't it? Yeah, it kind of resonates with me that it's about like 3 siblings. 8 of Hearts. Very different than the rest of this, honestly. But I will say this. In general, this is about celebrating and having a good time and socializing with friends and family. This could be about remembering that you are connected to these people, that they are part of your family, and that you've had a lot of good times with them. And they are part of your social, I would say social network, but just you rely upon them to be there for you. Catch my drift? Yeah. So that's perhaps the emotional seesaw that you're on here. That That 8 just tells me that whoever's involved with this disagreement over this money abundance matter, they're people close to your heart. That's why I feel like it's a family situation. I really do. Probably very specific Libras. Not all Libras are gonna find that this fits their situation. There's some kind of permanent disagreement or split here with maybe one of the people involved. I don't see this as relationship. I'm really not seeing this as relationship, this whole situation. So this often can mean a split between two people or two friends, but I see like there's somebody in the family here that damage has been done. The relationship is not repairable. This is usually very permanent. It's the opposite of harmony and connection. It's disconnection and disharmony. Everything's out of balance, so that's not good. But that's, again, that kind of resonates with your fight and struggle here. This isn't all just a heart-to-heart talk about this financial matter. This goes a lot deeper. I think there's a lot of angles to it. A lot of emotions involved for sure. Yeah, everything's up in the air with this black and white Joker. It's also the full energy. You don't know how this is going to turn out. That's the full energy. That's classic full energy. Not being able to see into the future. Not being able to see the outcome, to see what's coming around the corner. Being blindsided. But it's just that energy of not knowing how it's going to turn out. There's no other way to put that. It's so clear, and it's not settled. You're still dealing with this in February 2023. This hasn't been settled. Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. King of Hearts. Could be dealing with a water sign here. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. You could have those in your chart, but I will say, if this has been a very well, we've already established it. I'll just say it. We've already established this is a very emotionally draining situation for you. You're being asked to take control of those emotions with this King of Hearts. I strongly feel that's what this King of Hearts represents. I don't necessarily see it as a water sign. It's just that the king takes control. They have dominion, especially the hearts. The King of Hearts energy is all about the feelings and deep emotions. It's very fatherly. There's a lot of solid. What am I trying to say? They're very solid guide. But when I see that pop up in a situation like this, it's like, yeah, taking control of the emotions, not letting them get away with you, not saying things you regret, not letting it get you down. I mean, all of that, etc., etc. Whatever comes to mind and pops to mind when you hear that. Okay, see what else we got. I won't grab the cloth there. 5 of Spades, Ace of Hearts. So the 5 of Spades is a breakup. And the Ace of Hearts is a new start in a direction following your heart. That's very interesting. It's like you've broken off from the path of following your heart. I think, that's why the King of Hearts energy's there. It's like you need to get back in that space, Libra, of following your desire, and your desire is probably not to keep the peace, but to help, cultivate the peace, to help bring about a peaceful resolution. There's some kind of break from that. If that is not the case, I have to open more cards here to see what is down here, but this could be asking you to not follow your heart in some cases. So let me just stop there and see what we have going on down here. The 7 of Spades, something's going to be revealed. Some truth is going to be uncovered. Perhaps it's about uncovering how you truly feel, and that is the break off from what you think is your heart and what you think is right. So when I say heart, just to be clear on that, it's not about love, romance, or just like, this is my goal and I want to follow it. It's like following your instincts, right? What's close to your heart. And I actually am picking up a feeling of justice. So we place our heart in the feeling of justice. I think they can exist side by side, because what we feel passionately about, and justice would certainly fall in that category. It's about, yeah, you're using your heart to make a judgment call. And when you see that injustice happening, it can tear at your heart. It can make you angry, but it can also be very hurtful, right? Because you see that people around you are being hurt, or perhaps you are being hurt. Some truth will be revealed. Let's see what we have going on here. And you're going to be okay. So I think what's going to be revealed here is going to possibly... I'm trying to formulate how to say this. This is the feeling of entrapment, being a prisoner. If you follow your heart here, and like I was just describing, and feeling like I have to stand up for this because of the justice, there's an issue of justice or fairness involved, you're being asked to step away from that, because it's going to lead to a dead end. Because this is a card of imprisonment and confinement, but it's a dead end, right? Literally, it's a dead end. I'm not sure how the hidden information... Well, actually, I could put it in the context of this reading. This is the hidden information. It's probably not obvious to you that this would be the course of action to take. But that King of Hearts, I keep staring at that going, if you're here with the King of Hearts, really in control of your emotions, you don't have to worry about any of this. So if you don't feel like justice is being served, for example, and you have broken yourself away from being attached, what I'm trying to say is being attached to those feelings. It's a very, dare I say, almost like a Buddhist concept. It's not about not caring about things. If you've ever looked at Buddhist philosophy, it almost sounds like they're saying you shouldn't care, you should stay in the middle and be impartial. They call it the middle way. I'm simplifying it, okay, for people out there who are familiar with that, what I'm getting at here. And you could almost misinterpret that as not caring, not having your heart involved. And it's actually, it has nothing to do with that. It's about not getting pulled into that direction emotionally, being in control of your reactions and responses to the situation, because you can't change the outcome. What it is in front of you is what it is. We have to accept what's in front of us, or it's going to cause us pain. That's the bottom line. And we have a choice. We have a choice. Buddhism, for example, gives us that knowledge and practice to almost disengage to the point that it seems like we could be indifferent. But it's not about indifference like I'm trying to describe. It's more about protecting ourselves so that we don't get dragged into the drama, recognizing the drama for what it is, but having control of these emotional reactions, which do get us all in trouble. You have to admit, right? Breaking away from perhaps the injustice you feel in this situation, Libra, because Libra is all about the scales. And those scales, when they start to tip in one direction or the other, justice is not happening. There's a sense of right and wrong. Libras have very, a very keen sense for justice, I think. The Libras I've known, anyway. And like I said, if there's some kind of information being revealed to you, I would not know what that is, but what this is saying to me is this is something you probably haven't thought of. So this, in that sense, you have new information. Okay, here's the other half of the advice. As you people who have been here before and have seen my readings, my advice tends to go one way in one direction, has one message, and then when I go this way, there's a second message. Sometimes it has to do with the first part of that advice. It may or may not. But we'll go ahead and ask for more. Okay, that came right out. Four of Spades talks about relief around the home, experiencing some kind of stress relief. It's possible that you're already in that space or that is coming. Perhaps this course of action will give you that stress relief, but it's in the home life. And the Four does talk about a very stable and solid home life, so you're not being threatened in your lifestyle, is not being threatened in any way. Anything, it's going to improve with the Pentacles, finance, abundance that's going on at the heart of the matter. Ace of Clubs, though, is about a new start in learning some new skills or acquiring information that perhaps could help you in this situation. Again, I keep thinking about the middle way. So if that is not something you've ever heard, it's not a concept you're familiar with, and it piques your curiosity, you can just start doing some research. Google it. Type in the middle way. I don't have any specific site you could go to or book to read, because there's literally thousands of topics in Buddhism, and they're everywhere. But I have dabbled in it for many years, and I think it's one of the purest, cleanest philosophies in looking at life and how to deal with these emotional situations. I think it offers us a lot of wisdom that doesn't come to us through any form of education or our parents sometimes, when you still start to really delve deep into it. Anyway, I don't mean to go off on tangents with that, but the Six of Diamonds talks about options and opportunities coming in for you to take financial responsibility in some way. Usually means, paying off debts, taking care of financial matters that have been neglected for a while, perhaps because you didn't have the resources. And I certainly think that you're on some kind of new track of abundance, especially with that Ace of Diamonds. There's a new start for you, Libra, regardless of the disagreement or situation that's going on around it. Five of Clubs. Something here needs to change, though. Something here needs to change. This is the card of needing to renovate, get off a track. Something is perhaps static. It could just be a matter of what I was just describing, you being stuck on this idea of justice being served, of things being fair. I mean, I think it's obvious that things need to be changed, because we already went over the fact that there's a conflict going on, but I'm going to ask for another card. This will tell me a whole lot. I mean, it's one of those messages that comes out and you're like, yeah, it's a little redundant. I think we kind of already established that, but let's see what else we can pull out before we end this reading. What else can you tell me about Libra's situation? Well, Four of Clubs, okay. So again, balance and stability in the home, in the lifestyle, everything is going very well in that direction. Seems to be a separate message up here because, again, stress relief could have to do with the emotional matters, but not necessarily. Maybe you, prior to this Ten of Diamonds, this prosperity showing up, maybe you had some financial problems. And now you're in this period of stress relief because you know that you're going to be able to take better financial responsibility. And the Ace of Clubs is about that new start. And probably having to learn about perhaps how to invest it, how to use it. Hey Libra, I did have a battery change there. Sorry about that. As my readings get longer, I'm having more challenges around judging when my battery is going to die. So I apologize for a break in the video. But you heard me saying there a second ago, learning how to use this new finance and this abundance to your advantage is part of establishing this solid mode of living. What was the other word? Stability. That was the word I was trying to think of. Establishing that stability and that solidity in your home life. Like I said, you might have had financial problems before, but that's about to all change, right? Card of renovation, of getting out of a stuck mode of being, thinking, doing, behaving. Perhaps the change is going to happen on its own. It's not something that you need to initiate. But if you haven't thought about the impacts of this, I'll just say it, this new wealth, in whatever form it takes, if you haven't thought through that, you need to start thinking about how it's going to change different aspects of your life and how you relate within your family, perhaps with a spouse, because you still have that card down here, but I'm not sure that it involves a spouse. I mean, it could. Actually, it could. It could be like you bringing in the wealth into this relationship, and these disagreements are coming up about how to invest it, how to use it. The spouse may have very, very firm ideas about how it should be used. You know, when we're in partnerships, money becomes not just yours, but ours. I've experienced that myself. It's like you can't. It depends on the relationship, but honestly, most people think of as money in a relationship is a pool that both of you have a say-so in. Usually that's how it works anyway, if the relationship is fair and equitable. I think I'm going to end it there. It's a pretty complicated reading. Yeah, I think you're going through some emotional matters here that are not easy. Probably very hard. It's probably very, I think I used the word draining earlier. I keep hearing draining. And I think it's just about, like I said, stepping up to the plate and really taking care of your emotions and focusing in on not being pulled in any dramatic direction. As humans, we tend to do that. It's not a character flaw, right? It's just our natural tendency, especially when we're younger, to follow the emotions. They're intoxicating. And I think you could use a little bit of distancing, a little bit of I don't know what word I'm trying to pull out here that doesn't sound too esoteric, but just a little bit more stoicism in a way. You're still very wrapped up in it with your heart. So this isn't about turning off emotions. We can't do that. That's not realistic. Just a little bit more calmness. And when you feel that you're not able to stay calm with it, take some time for yourself. Whatever you need to rechannel that energy into something more constructive or just to bring it down to a more manageable level, that's all about control. Right? Whether it's taking a walk, taking a nap, doing something you enjoy to get your focus off of it. I don't recommend drinking or smoking, but I've done both myself to to relieve stress. So if that's what you have to do, you know, just don't let it run your life. That's the only danger with that, right? I'm going to end it there. If you enjoyed this reading and you would like to see when the next one comes out, make sure you hit subscribe, notifications, and you will be alerted when that next reading comes out. Hope you glean some insight here and some guidance. That's always my goal, no matter the subject matter. And again, if you'd like to make a donation, I just want to mention it again that link is at the bottom of the description box. If you copy and paste that into your browser, it'll take you right to that page. It's very simple, and I deeply, deeply appreciate that when and if you can do that. Okay? All right. Until I see you again, take care, Libra.